What is the state of sports development in Nigeria? We all know just how important sports development is to youth development itself, and also to calm the nerves of our youth and keep them engaged, and also to release the energies of the youth towards productivity in society and the economy. We also note the importance of sports development, especially on a global level, especially when we have to go for tournaments like the Olympics, World Cup, World Athletics meets, and what have you. But how has this been developing so far? We remember the good old days when Nigeria used to pick up quite a few medals in the Olympics, especially in track and field. We went into abeyance for quite a while, even though I believe that the last Olympics we showed a better outing than before. Perhaps that is credited to the current Minister for Sports, and that's good enough. How well are we developing sports on the ground anyway? Today I'm going to be speaking to a certain gentleman who is involved in sports development, and especially in the area of football. However, I also have this misgiving about the focus, the usual keen focus on football. We're going to be looking at how we have been doing, how well we've been doing in this area, and how we can broaden out some more into other aspects of sports development in Nigeria. Joining me today is Mr. Olujide Poko, a lawyer and sports development enthusiast. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
So you heard the background that I tried to lay. Let me hit you straight. Why do you guys focus so much on football?
Well, the game of football as it stands today is one of the top sports in terms of financial earnings. And
so it's all about the money.
Well, the basic thing is, for some of us, we look beyond the money. Football is a game of unity, and we try to explore that particular factor from the game itself. So the reason why I said a lot of people focus more on football nowadays is because even when you have young families, when they give birth to a male child, you hear phrases like Mbappe project, Messi project. So when you hear the weekly wages of these players and the financial implications of transfers, everybody everybody wants to be a part of it. Everybody looks forward to it. But sincerely, there are other games. But one thing that stands football out of other sports is the concept of unity, because there is teamwork embedded in it. We all want to achieve one goal. So we need to unite. We need to work together to achieve that goal. Unlike other sports that individually you can achieve it without having a teammate or having people to work with.
Like Usain Bolt and
Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, Tiger Woods.
Exactly. So just what you can do. That's a very important one. I think it needs to be emphasized that some of the team games like football, basketball to a lesser extent, when young people get involved, it also teaches them a lot of things. To play fair, for example, and to know that life is not just about you. However, you've been organizing something called Abuja Lawyers League, and I think you guys have been around for about 3 years now.
We're having the 7th edition. So we started in now. 2017.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So this is
why lawyers? Okay, I believe it's a football league as well.
Yes.
But why lawyers? What's the thing about lawyers?
The story behind it is our style, the way we work. It is. We are always static.
Okay.
We don't move around.
Yeah.
We spend so much time sitting in the office. If we're not sitting in the office, we are sitting in the court. We spend so much time sitting at business meetings, closing transactions, everything. We do not give our body the opportunity to function the way it is meant to function. So we thought, okay, what is the concept that we can do that can make quite a number of lawyers get involved? I do not want to speak low of any other sports or game, but if you look at football, even by standing on the field in the field of play alone, or by running, even if it is a pass or 2 passes you get during a game, it still speaks volume. But if you go into other sports, there are certain technicalities you need to understand. Table tennis, lawn tennis, even basketball itself. But football is a bigger concept, an easier concept to sell to lawyers. And we also feel like it is also another platform for us to interact. It creates a separate platform for lawyers outside the courts, outside the business transaction deals, outside the meetings. This particularly gives lawyers the opportunity, in Abuja especially, gives us the opportunity to mix and interact. And you'll be surprised that every year you see colleagues saying, you are here, you two, I'm seeing you for the first time in a couple of months. So it's the major factor of uniting us, and it is also interesting. The dribbling skills, the passes, the sublime passes, the shots and everything. So it encompasses everything you can think of about entertainment and fun.
And I believe what's the format like? Different law chambers putting up their own team, and then involves women as well?
Yeah, so the concept is, this is another beauty of the concept. Ordinarily, it's supposed to be a law firm, which is with the law firm's lawyers, then to come out and play. But now we extended it and said, look, if you do not have enough lawyers or players in your firm, you can merge with other firms. You can get lawyers from other firms and come under one umbrella. So it runs as a tournament. This year we're having about 20 teams, but you'll be surprised that in the 20 teams you have about 50 plus law firms all combining together, merging together just to come under one law firm. And then you look at the female teams. In fact, we have 6 female teams this year, which is the first of its kind in Nigeria for female lawyers. So it's also, that is going to run as a proper league wherein the 6 teams get to play each other. And last year it was more or less like a ceremonial game for them.
Why is it in Abuja alone? Why not other states of the country?
It's the finances. We hope and pray to extend beyond Abuja. We had an interlaw firm competition in Port Harcourt in 2021. We also had in 2022, we had, though it was between branches across the southwest in Ibadan in 2022. So we're testing the grounds to see how we can have soft landing and ensure that our colleagues in other jurisdictions to get to enjoy the beauty of the game.
Away from Abuja Lawyers League, back again to sports development. Then when someone like me, when I was growing up, we used to have what's called the Principal's Cup. I don't know about when you were growing up. I think you're still a youth.
Yeah, I knew about the Principal's Cup.
And it would be a case where this secondary school competing against that secondary school, but somehow we lost focus in Nigeria, as usual, as we do with most things. I don't know. I heard that they're trying to bring it back. And that was a place where scouts from different parts of the world, a lot of them are Nigerians, could come and identify, stars and take them abroad to earn all of this big money that we hear about. What do you think can be done to improve, that football, to take it back to where it used to be? And again, I must put it this way. I was recently in Morocco, and in Morocco I realized that they are crazy about football as well. When I was on a beach, I saw so many children playing different sets on the beach, and the beach was basically free. It was free. It's not like Nigeria where people will be harassing area boys collecting money. So, and they have so many of those kind of places in Morocco. And so I wasn't surprised how far they went in the World Cup. For the first time an African country getting that far, I believe, So though I'm not much, I won't say I'm much of a football aficionado. I'm not one of those people who cram all of those games in my head and so on. How can we get back to good old days?
So, like you said, I think I can still classify myself as a youth in the country today. So back then, when I was in Ibadan Grammar School, we used to look forward to the Principal's Cup, Ibadan Grammar School, Ibadan Boys High School, Olubi, St. Luke's. Then you look at it that, from my own perspective, I think a lot of vices have taken over the essence of what we used to have, because back then it was something we looked forward to. But now I don't think...
Was it because of the hooliganism or what? Or the fights? Because fights would usually break out between those schools, and sometimes the rivalry can be toxic.
Even in world football today, we still have little events like that. I think it's, in quotes, the exposure to certain negative activities that has taken the focus of the young ones in secondary school off not only football
off sports.
Off sports. The way
you mean that they'd rather be doing Yahoo.
You understand? So the way the way education is losing its relevance in school, so also is it affecting the sporting line too.
Wow, and that's a big issue. You know, I never even thought of it that way, which was very, very true. However, I'm not sure we're very good at, I think I'll put the blame back to our academia. We're not very good with analyzing our society and telling the truth about ourselves. The truth is that, yes, indeed, things like Yahoo is taking, we have secondary school students who would rather want to bring a car to school and show off that they've made millions and all of that, you know. So this has taken the attention of and everybody wants to make big money. And then came things like, you know, now we have all the options that people have on TV, meaning that we're seeing the best part of the rest of the world. They're showing you the best part. Every kid is listening to Ronaldo, how much he has made. In our time when we were growing up, we didn't have that exposure, and therefore they are not eager to wait and go through school for so many years before making that money. They want to make it now. And lastly, we have the social media phenomenon. Everybody has a voice. See 15-year-old children having 20 million followers, making money on Google and YouTube and all of that. So it's a phenomenon that I'm not sure people who have come into government have actually come to terms with. We are not planning along that.
So on that particular issue, I saw a video recently wherein the speaker gave an illustration of
the speaker.
How,
okay, the speaker
gave an illustration of how social media has, though the social media has its pros and its cons.
Yeah.
But he said, like you mentioned, Ronaldo earning hundreds of millions of dollars now. But he said, social media will not tell you or put you through the path of the effort and the sacrifices, the Ronaldos, the Messis. So the children, this new generation, they just see it and they
final
believe
results.
They just see the final results and they believe, yes, it can happen for them like that. They won't then another problem we have with this current generation is we do not want to go back to study history, how it was done, how it used to be. Even if you say those were the old ways, all we need to do is redefine and refine what we need to do to get there, not jumping the gun from being A today and you want to go to Z without going through B, C, D, E, F, G.
It's still the same thing. The young people will usually blame those of us who are older. Unfortunately, I mean, you know, even my generation now, those of us who are in our 50s, we're already becoming one of those people who they point to and they say, you guys didn't do well, you guys didn't do this and all of that. But you know, oftentimes I pity those ones who are growing today, because sometimes they're going to end up maybe making even more grievous mistakes because everybody wants to achieve everything today. Anyhow, we'll take a short break, and then after this break, we'll continue our discussion. Welcome back to the show. And we're discussing sports development with Mr. Olujide Poko, a lawyer, a sports enthusiast, and also a sports developer, one of the people investing their time and resources into developing sports in Nigeria, which is not an easy task, and very expensive as well, you know. And before we went for a break, we were discussing some of the issues around the youth perception and the things that are, you know, kind of affecting the perspectives of our youth today. The fact that they are getting beamed with so much information on their phones, on TV, on their laptops, everywhere, different channels. And this is affecting, making them a lot much more impatient. And even that even plays into politics in Nigeria, as we have seen in the last few months or years in Nigeria here today. However, that itself can be a dangerous phenomenon if not well handled, especially social media, the kind of importance it confers on youth who should still be learning. Some of them believe they don't need to learn anymore. Just a couple of days, I was in Lagos, I was in NIA, and I saw Segun Odegbami, I went to see someone else. As I was leaving, I saw Segun Odegbami. I was like, Uncle Segun. Yeah, of course, I had never met him before. He hadn't met me before. He had to wait for me. I took a few pictures with him. I posted on Facebook today. That's a Nigerian legend, okay? Someone who struggled for Nigeria. He's like our own Pelé.
Yes.
Truth be told, he's like our own Pelé. But hey, the youth of today, 30 years, 35 years and below, they don't care who is Segun Odegbami. They don't want to know. They don't want to know. We are now just directly worshipping the Ronaldos, the Messis of this world, the Mbappes of this world. That's where it ends, and everybody wants to make it now.
Instantly.
What do you think can constructively be done? This is a very difficult problem. And even some ministers of youth and sports in Nigeria have not even engaged it. In fact, I would probably aver that even a president of a country should speak about this.
Yes.
Because we're talking about something that affects the majority of the youth as they grow up, to say, can you just slow down? I know you want to make $300,000 every week, but hey, that's not where it ends. You know what I'm saying? Now we have the jackpot phenomenon. Everybody is jackpotting and just getting out of this country. And the whole idea is they just want to make money, okay, because they're converting it and say, if I was earning 3,000 pounds, how much is that? That's 2.1 million, or that's like almost 3 million. So why would I stay in Nigeria? Not knowing that sometimes there's value in staying in your country. There's value in having that patience to grow gradually. I don't know how we're going to slow down this phenomenon, but what do you think can be done?
I think basically it starts from the educational system, because you have quite a lot of, well, I'm guilty too, you have quite a lot of schools, quite a number of schools that tell you they are doing British curriculum. And
exactly.
And then when
some schools don't even reckon with sports at all.
They don't reckon
Many
with sports at all.
Many schools are built today, they don't even have a field.
So when you look at that with the private schools, the public schools, like every public institution, what we are suffering in various institutions is affecting the educational institution too. So basically, it would go a long way if the educational institution is revived, because apart from the home, that is the second most important institute of learning, the school. When you start from primary school, my primary school back then in Ibadan had a proper pitch that we always looked forward to playing football. Now, it's not just about football, there are other games. You see, and the inter-house sports, how we used to enjoy having inter-house sports there, inter-school competitions, and I had, maybe it's because of age or something, but I hardly hear about having inter-school sports competition or schools having inter-house sports anymore. These are the little traditions that, because of the defects in the educational system, they are going away gradually. They are going, and the social media is, I do not want to totally blame the social media, but the social media is taking over, and what the social media is showing the younger generation is not how hard to work for your success. It makes it look like you can sleep and wake up one day and you are there.
Let me also say this, some Nigerians are also, a few young Nigerians are also beginning to, they want to be a Mark Zuckerberg. They want to drop out of university and walk away. And it's becoming a bit fashionable, especially among the children of the very rich. You're supposed to be doing a 4-year course. After year 2, you decide to walk away. You don't tell your parents that you're no longer in school. Sometimes they don't find out until 5 years later that the children are no longer in school. But someone said, look, dropping out of a Nigerian university is different from dropping out of Harvard. Why don't you ensure you go through your school and collect your certificate so that you can go and pursue your dream? Somebody needs to be telling them that. Anyway, but that aside, you know, we used to have teams like ICC when I was growing up. It was ICC, it was Bendel Insurance, it was Rangers of Enugu, it was Mighty Jets of Jos, you know, it was which other one in Port Harcourt?
Dolphins
of Port Harcourt, Sharks of Port Harcourt, you know. So anyhow, again, you see, when we say social media, let's not even confuse it with the fact that, look, apart from social media, you have DSTV. In a time when you know, the TV was open at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. They will first sing the national anthem, Arise, O Compatriot. That's TV.
Even when
and it was one channel, exactly. If you were living in Lagos, then later LTV came. So you had between LTV or NTA to watch. By 11 o'clock, after 11 o'clock news, they close. But now, we have, you know, on DSTV alone, channel 201, 203, 205, 6, 7, up to 30-something, showing sports alone. Therefore, the focus has moved away from local leagues, which are dying. People are crazy about these international teams. They put money on it, they bet on it, they buy the gear, which is very expensive. Sometimes some of the jerseys, you see them,
50, 100
very expensive. Just, yes. You know, 100 pounds is almost 90,000 naira or more for one T-shirt. No, I won't buy it. I'm sorry, I belong to that old school. You know what I'm saying? But and I see that the Nigerian Premier League at some point, it came back. You know, Glow was sponsoring, but I think of late it has died down again.
Well, there are many factors tied to that, and I always say that with a population of 200 million, I believe Nigeria is one of the best markets any football league can thrive. But unfortunately, the economic activities of the country, the economic profile of the country is not encouraging.
Okay.
And you look at the English Premiership, where the tickets go for £50, £25, £30. If you convert that to our naira, it's you know how much that is. Now the thing is, the majority of the citizens, do they even have enough to feed? Not to talk of going to the stadium to watch a match.
So we have to work on
the economy has to come back fully. The economy has to come back. Then, just like the English Premiership, there is a huge amount of money that comes from ticket purchases.
Okay.
People apart from sponsorship, people buy season tickets, and because of the attention the league is getting, you have the TV licenses that also generates money to show this. So it is someone who is able to feed that would say, I want to go to the stadium. Sometime last year, I think I was able to watch a couple of games, 3SC games. The stadium vibe is totally different. It is awesome. I think tickets sold for like
3SC in Nigeria.
3SC, yes, 3SC. I watched a couple of 3SC games last year, and tickets sold for like, I think 200, 500.
200 naira.
200 naira, yes.
That's rather cheap, though.
That's rather cheap. But the question is,
they want the crowd to come.
The crowd has to come. What will make the crowd come? Publicity. What will drive publicity? Revenue. If revenue is not coming, why do I want to push publicity for this for the Nigerian league? And then there are so many instances. The pitches, we have to raise our standard.
Yeah,
we can afford to do these things. We can afford to make the league thrive. But the problem is, everything about Nigeria is politicized.
Indeed, you know, God help us, but I think we have to keep trying. Just last year, something happened that actually saddened me quite a bit, and there was this match that held in Abuja Stadium here.
Yeah, the Nigeria-Ghana qualifier.
I've been an advocate of ensuring that stadium comes back to life. Beautiful facility, very expensively done. However, nothing happens there. I always wonder, how come we can't get matches going here? If the minister, of course, there's a minister that's winding down now. Another one will probably be appointed soon. You know, can they not have programs coming up, matches, you know, incentivize them rather than just, you know, so that people can go there? However, what happened was I actually did buy quite a number of tickets and gave people for free, about about 40 tickets that look
For the qualifier.
that people would go there. Unfortunately, at some point, I think the managers of the game decided to throw it open, and
Yes,
all
yes,
sorts of
yes.
all
A
sorts
whole
of street
lot of
urchins
people,
came
you know, yes.
into VIP, and by the time Nigeria lost that match,
They
they
destroyed
destroyed the stadium,
so many
beat people up.
facilities.
One official died, and that stadium has been banned. Okay, though for a while, by FIFA, banned it because they said your stadium, you cannot guarantee the safety of officials or even players, because there were some Ghanaian Nigerian players that they went and accosted. And it's a very painful thing for our sport development. We have been set back, but we need to come back soon. What do you think can be done to prevent things like that happening, and to actually cast away this jinx that seems to be over Nigeria and sports for now?
That particular game, I was in the stadium too that day to watch the game. You know, it's I think the spectators got too emotional, and I won't clear them of their culpability in that. But the thing is, it is not just enough to have a beautiful or wonderful stadium. Like the world standard is, we need to put certain measures in place to ensure that even when fans, even with the standard of the English Premiership, you still have fans running into the pitch.
Yeah.
But that shows you can't have 100%. But the fact remains, if you attain the required standard, you can. This kind of things are preventable. But the way the events unfolded that evening, it was more or less like a certain group came in at first. They saw that there was no resistance. The second group came in, third group. Before the security outfits could come in,
yes,
so many people had the response was just too slow. So many people had encroached the pitch and destroyed quite a number of facilities. And about making use of the pitch, you see, I wouldn't know if it was the joy that Nigeria was having a game in Abuja or the joy that it was a World Cup qualifier. The turnout was massive. Even before anybody knew that it was going to be free eventually, people really turned up. People really wanted to come. In my group we were about 10 or 15 people that walked into the stadium together. So we really wanted to watch a live game.
Exactly.
And it's in one of my, because year in year out we look at how we can develop sports, and in one of the projects we are outlining is how to approach those in charge of the stadium, if they can make it available for us to have matches that people of Abuja will come and watch. I
think that the key lesson that needs to be learned from that scenario is this: whoever is the marketer of that should be someone that's serious-minded. Because I was the one even marketing for them. I put it on Facebook. I bought so many myself and so on, but I saw that the marketer was not particularly very serious. Maybe it's politics that went into it and so on. But if a marketer would actually take such a program, make sure that people who come there are people who paid for it, except they are sponsored. You don't open it to all sorts of street urchins and look at what has happened. I hope that the stadium gets some banned, and in the meantime, I hope that someone is maintaining that
that's another thing.
Because they can just abandon it.
We lack maintenance culture.
Anyway, it's been great talking to you, Mr.
Thank you very much, sir.
And we hope to bring you back, and we wish you the best on your Abuja Lawyers League. We hope that you guys expand and also become a national phenomenon. Let our lawyers get fit. I know there's something that the central bank does for the bankers as well.
Yeah, there is a bankers game,
a bankers cup. Okay, bankers cup and so on. So let professionals also get fit, including people who work in TV stations and what have you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for viewing this program today. See you next week.